All right. We are warming up for the Pacific Cup tournament, and I'm going to play some Tour 5. Let's see if I can catch some of these. We got hey, get off there. Catch some of these Gokasho Bay and Maple Bay. Some of the tournament holes are going to be from each of those two. There's actually, in this particular tournament, there's 4 different courses, which is crazy. Maple Bay, hole 4, par 4. Maple Bay. This is not one. We're playing on Maple Bay 189. Let's see if I can remember how to play this hole. Maybe, if we can get down there. Now, I've shot, I think I'm going to combine this. I'm doing my pin chest. I shot over here before with a marlin ball and just hit the sand. I think I might have dribbled up into the rough, but hitting the sand or the rough out there, as long as you don't have a massive headwind. I just cannot believe they're bringing out a snow globe in one-on-one play in T5. Come on, dude. Doug. Oh, that's a heartbreaker. I wish there was a forfeit in exchange for the ball button, because I would forfeit right now in exchange for that ball. Come on. I got a nice shot from there. I will admit that, but that's crazy for 1,000 coins or whatever it is here at T5. It's just absolutely crazy. So I shot over to that before. If you've got, see, I've got my extra mile, and let's put all the topspin on it. Now I'm going to end up in the rough or the sand here, and I'm okay with that. There's no way I'm going to get up there. But I'm not bringing out a 5-power ball in a one-on-one deal. That's the thing about down here. Like if we were playing up in T10, 9, 10, especially 11 and 12, and somebody pulls out a snow globe so they can get on a 1, guess what you have to pull out? A snow globe. Because you got to get on a 1 or you're going to lose 10 million coins. But when you're down here playing in the lower tours, it's absolutely crazy. I mean, they're gonna be in a tournament at some point and wish they had a 5-power ball, and they're gonna go, man, I don't have enough 5-power balls for that. And hopefully they'll think back on this particular one right here and think I just wasted a power 5 ball in T5 practicing. Let's check out Doug. They're trying to get up, spending some cheddar. See if they can make a great wind adjustment here. See if they can get in the hole. Let's root for them to get in the hole, so they didn't feel like they completely wasted their power 5 ball. Right on the outside of the cup. Now what I want to do right here is slam the door shut and sink this shot. Put just a titch of backspin on it. Just a titch. Just a sliver. Okay, from this distance right here, okay, that's about 6. And I'm going to come out just a little farther. What that'll do is that'll open up a grate to the right. So if I can hit this perfect or 1 ring grate to the right, it may go in. Hit it 1 ring grate to the left. But I opened the door for a 1 ring grate to the right and a perfect to go in the hole. So I was giving myself 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Oh, would have liked to have beat that power 5 ball right there. Just slammed the door shut on him. They're your balls. You can do whatever you want with them. You paid for them. My buddy Mike D, our clan president for the Kings of Golf, when we first started talking, I put out a video. There's a video in my playlist, and I've named it AAA Strategy. So if you search by alphabetical, it'll always be at the top. And there's one in there talking about balls. And I was talking about like what is the good time to use balls, or how some balls can be interchangeable, especially low wind balls. And I posted that video, and then he called me the next day and he's like, dude, I've been just going out there burning them just like, hey, no big deal, and playing them, and not realizing that like on some holes, if I had that ball, it makes the difference between getting an eagle and not getting an eagle. And so having a collection of balls at your disposal when you get into tournaments. And if you think about a tournament, if you play on Monday as your practice round and you bring out real equipment, that's one ball. And then let's just say you qualified on Tuesday and you didn't have another practice day. You qualified on Tuesday, there's 2. And then you play in the opening round, there's 3, 4. And then you got the weekend round, there's 5, 6. It takes 6 balls for each hole. And so you've got 9 holes. So one of the things that I do when I start the week off is I do my sheet, and I look like on holes that I could bring out a special ball, like how many balls I'm going to need that week. It's especially important when you got a low level account and you don't have a big collection of balls, so that you know that you have enough. Let's see if we can beat this guy. It's 1-7. I'm going to do a 30% overpull. So that's 2-4-6. So I'm going to do 2-3. And it's a 100% accurate club. I'm going to do a 2-3. Try and hit perfect. Hitting it perfect. Give myself a look. Get in a hole. But saving these really good balls that you have in your collection, and there's no thing about hoarding them. The deal is that you want to use those balls when it's appropriate to use them. So, these Power 5 balls, there's holes during tournaments that, the last tournament we played, the Christmas tournament, there were some holes in there, that if you had a Power 5 ball, it was the difference. It was night and day. Regardless of your club levels. If you had low level clubs or upper developed clubs, it didn't really matter. The whole deal is that a Power 5 ball is what made or broke that hole. And so using your balls wisely. I see all the time on Facebook where somebody will come on there and go, how many kingmakers do you have? The last time that question came up and I responded to it, I have 43 major kingmakers that I'm trying not to play. And on any given day, I may have 2. I don't hoard those balls, so I don't have a whole bunch of them. I'm going to try and just lay up out here in the front without rolling off 2, 4, 6, 7, 6. So playing your balls wisely is very important. Use them, but play them wisely, especially when you buy balls. And I'm not opposed to buying balls, but when you buy those balls, you spent real cash that you worked hard for, and maximize your dollars by using them in the appropriate situation. So like I could bring out a Power 5 ball right here and try and get on a 1. You can do it. You can come over here. You may be able to, depending on the wind, get it done with a Power 3 ball, but I think you're going to have to bring out a bigger ball. And it may be a Power 3 ball. You got to get it done. But it doesn't really matter to me. This isn't a tournament hole. I'm not practicing this hole, so I'm going to play with a Marlin. If this was a tournament hole and I was trying a shot and I wanted to get that shot right, then yeah, I'm going to bring out, and Titans are usually my good practice balls, like, because you can get a really good idea of what you can and can't do by using a Titan. Now, I have a ton of Titans, and it's not because I hoard them. It's just because I use Titans all the time. They're the king of balls. And I really do believe that. I say that all the time in my videos. For those of you that have watched my videos, where you're like, it's the king of balls. And so I have a bunch of them. That shot will work. That'll be okay. You'll be all right. Let's see where I'm at in my Hornet. So it's not that I'm hoarding my Titans. It's just I can't use them as fast as I'm winning them. Get right up on it. Hey, get up on there. 4-7, right at max. So it's 1.1 per ring. So there's 4-4. That leaves me 3. So that's a quarter. Hey, That's a quarter. So 4 1/4 rings. Hitting it perfect. Gave myself a look. Just a bit to the left. And the last couple times I've been on this hole, I've ended up just off the cup. I can't remember if I'm just off the cup in the same way. So I'm not like you need to over pull here. It seems like before I needed to over pull, like maybe I was downhill a little bit. It seemed like I was able to zoom in pretty close on my rings, but evidently there must be a little bit of an over pull. A little bit of elevation difference. It looks like it's uphill, so you'd actually take wind off. But I'd be wrong. At least my opponent here is using a mortar ball. Although I will say when I'm out here in one-on-one, and you have to expect this. When you're playing one-on-one and the tour that you're playing has holes that are in a tournament, that when people get on that tournament hole, let's say you've been replaying somebody and you replayed them twice and all of a sudden they get to the third match and they pop out a big ball. You have to look at the hole. If it's a tournament hole, they may be proxying just like me. And I'm gonna pull out whatever I would use in the tournament on that, because there's a difference between how you approach these holes in one-on-one versus how you approach them in tournaments. In tournaments, I couldn't care less. Because I forfeit shootouts because I'm shooting videos and it helps speed the process up. And I do not shoot shootouts during tournament week because I'm not interested in wasting my hole-in-ones during a shootout. So I don't play them. And if I do play them, I'll let it time out or I'll try a dunk. But I'm not going to do the serious shot on it. I'm not interested in playing them. Like if Playdemic said you have to play them, then I would do a dunk. I'm not interested in getting hole-in-ones. You're setting it up and you're trying to dial it in and you're trying to get it right on the tournament hole, and then you finally get it right and it's in a shootout. Every single tournament, one of my teammates has that happen. And it makes me cringe because it's a sick feeling. Let's see if they can get this right. That looks like it might be pretty good. It's got the right speed. Rolling out the back. I'm going to try this with a Guardian, and I think this is way downhill. Way downhill. Da-da-da-da. There is a rough bump down there, but you got to get that wind right. And I'm not really interested in doing that. As much backspin as I can possibly get on, and as much left hand or right hand side spin as I can get on there. So it's 6. Man, that seems like a big pull. That's 6. That's a full ring set. And the white ring's a little distorted. So I'm just going to go right there. Isn't it perfect? See if that'll float back down towards the cup. I need to either start a little bit more up on the hill so that it engages the hill and then rolls down closer to the cup. But I will tell you, in this particular hole in a tournament, I ain't messing around. I'm going right at it with a backspin club, and I'm doing that exact same shot because that's the type of hole right there that will eat your lunch. Now, if you can show me a spot on there where you can set it up in that spot and hit it perfect and it'll give you a hole-in-one, then I will go look at that. But if you're like, well, yeah, occasionally you can get a hole-in-one if you hit it just right. No, I'm going right at it. I do not want to end up getting a par on that hole. And that to me is that hole is an optical illusion. It's a trap. Don't go to the light. Playing out one-on-one, you always want to have 2 chests available. The more the merrier. If you're really playing and you're really doing a lot of replays and you catch people that want to replay, you always want to have 3 open so you can get out there and cycling through chests. So people talk about buying clubs. I think the way you're buying clubs is you have to cycle chests. So yes, you have to have gems. That's the hard currency in this game. And I keep getting this hole, and without wind right there, I can't get it done with a marlin ball over there. I'm not going to be able to hit that sand. There's too big of a risk that I'll end up, and you can't get too far forward here, it'll dig out. You got to stay up on the top of this hill. So if I push it forward, it's just digging further in. So I'm going to pull back just a little, give myself a little arc. So it's there's 5. It's about 3.5 rings. See if I can get that ball to bleed off into the fairway on the other side. Nope. And that is a rough shot from right there. That's why if you watched the video earlier where I hit into the sand over here and did that shot, and you're like, why are you hitting in the sand when there's fairway over here? Because the deal is from over here, you can get in from the sand and the rough, and it's a super easy shot. But when you're over here, it is tough. You've got to make that fairway, especially if you have lower developed clubs. We were talking about balls. If you've got the wind balls, the cool thing about the wind balls is they're interchangeable. So let's say you're on a hole, it's all about power. So you're on a hole where you need 0 power, or you're using a 1 power, a 2 power, a 3 power ball. So if you're using a 0 power ball, you're using, a marlin or a white ball. And then the weekend round comes and you go, hey, I really want to cut the wind down on that hole. You can pop out a Santa or an Oceana or one of those balls that's 0 power, 5 wind. If you're using a navigator or a quasar and you've got a 1 power ball, then you can pop out like a carnival ball or the popcorn ball or one of those balls to get you up there. And so the deal is that the dynamics don't change. You're not having to worry about, like the side spin's different. How much side spin was I putting it on with that other ball? So I'm at max club, it's 2 per ring. So there's 5, 1, that's 2.5 rings. I hit my Nirvana at 2 per ring. And I also hit it 2 rings great to the left. Yes. 2 rings great to the left. And you're not going to ever get me to move off that 2 per ring. I've just been playing it for a long time, and so I'm comfortable with that number. And it's not, I don't think it is 2 per ring. It's actually, if it's not 100% accurate, then it's less than, it's like 2.2, or it's more than that. But I play it at 2 per ring. Same thing with the Spitfire. It's not actually at the level that I have it. It's not actually 100% accurate. It should be like 2.4 or 2.7 per ring, but I actually play it at 2.0. Just because I've been doing it forever. You can teach me new tricks though. So, I mean, if I found some number that worked on it better than that, but the whole goal is I try and stay out of my rough iron and sand wedge. And a lot of the time that I use my rough iron is because I actually hit it into the rough on purpose. That happens almost more often than me ending up in the rough. Because there are some of these holes where I don't care if I am in the rough. I know from the spot that I'm in the rough that I actually have a better shot because I went for everything. I went for a max overpower, max down the thing, ended up in the rough, and my shot from the rough is actually better than my shot would be with my wood. I just played some Tour 6 the other day, and there's some holes in there that are like that. They're like the city park holes. There's one of the holes that's in that I hit in the rough all the time. There's another hole that I think my Houdini works better. My Houdini and my machete actually work better on that hole than my short iron. And so I don't mind hitting into the rough. There's a spot up there, and if I can get into that spot, then I'm in my short iron. But like with woods, like backspin woods, there isn't any backspin wood that's as good as my machete or my Houdini. So I'm trying to hit in the rough. And if I get lucky, I bleed out and I'm in my short iron range. I'm going to get just a little closer, just a bit. Right out. So Okay, I'm going to do 20% again. So that's 4.8. And my Saturn, it's a 1.9. So there's 4. That's about 2.5 rings. Right in that range. 1.9 per ring. Oh. And I obviously hit my my Saturn great to the right. Distance was perfect. That would have been in the cup or right on the edge. And if it was right on the edge, it would have been doing the gravity defying spin that the gravity assist. Let's see if my opponent can get in the hole. Get in the hole. Shred Freak from the U.S. Pen Seekers. Got some top 10s in tournaments. Excellent. Got a top 10 in a major. That was the fall major, 6th place, or excuse me, winter major. That was fantastic. Those majors are tough. See people with those top 10 banners on there getting into the top 10. That's the step number one. Unless somebody else started just jumping into account. If you look at their banners and they don't have any top 10s, then all of a sudden they got banners. Somebody else is probably playing their account, but usually either you'll see people that have banners, top 3 banners, and then a bunch of top 10s, or you'll see people with some top 10s, and those people are going to get themselves a banner. It's going to happen. All right, we got a pinch us. Let's see if we got another one behind it. Maybe you guys will get some bonus action. Castaway, I have no idea. Bunch of clubs. 27 minutes. All right, I'm going to play one. I'll give you one more hole. I'll give you one more hole. I wish we knew that up here we would get, what are the holes that are in Tour 6? Juniper Point's got some holes that are in the, and then Kohong Park, but Kohong Resort, but we're not going to get any of those down here, Rick. That's why I'm playing 5, because I have a better shot of getting some hole that we're going to play in a tournament down here in 5. Gokasho Bay, hole 6, par 5. Hole 6. This is one of the holes. Is this one of the holes? Gokasho Bay, hole 6, par 5. Is this one of the holes? It is one of the holes. It is. Now we can do the shot that my opponent's doing here, but I'm practicing a different shot, so bear with me. I'm doing a max overpower hook shot on this because I got to remember how to do this shot, because I literally have forgotten how to do it. The Earth Day tournament, or one of the tournaments that this was in way back in the day, when I played that tournament, I was deployed and I wasn't recording, so I played it and I was doing a max overpower hook shot on this, and you can get up in this front pad. So I just wanted to try and get back up in that front pad. And with the way the wind's blowing right here, I'm not going to be able to get this done. So I'm in this area. The wind's blowing me 6-9. So it's blowing me forward 3 rings, the blue ring. And before I was out, like on this tree out here in this tree, I'm going to come in. So I'm right in the middle of those trees. I'm going to leave the wind in. Let's see if we can catch the angle right. And that was almost all of it. I think that's going to end up, just clipping it just a little teeny bit more and it would have been there. But the good news is I was able to try my shot and I ended up exactly where you would end up if you shake the other shot. So now I'll show you the shot coming in. This is the shot coming in, and you could come at this hole with a Titan or a Kingmaker. It'll probably be better to come in with a Kingmaker because it'll cut the wind down. So it's important to bring a 3. You don't have to bring a 3 power ball, but you want to bring a 3 power ball. What's going to determine it is what club you're using on the other side. So you don't want to be in between clubs. But typically a ball that's got more side spin on it, and 3 side spin doesn't hurt on the drive, it's not going to be necessary on this shot. But we're going to do a rough bump right here. So let's see where we're at in our club. Are we getting there? We're getting there. All right, we're in Grizzly. And here's minimum. There's max. There's mid. So we're in front of mid. This is a 100% accurate club. I can get way down there on it. So I'm going to do 3.2 rings. I'm just going to do a full 3.2 rings. And we're just going to try and hit it perfect. Hitting it perfect. See if we can get that sucker in the cup. Get in the cup. Close. Close. No cigar. I'm trying the max override hook on there to see if I can get the shot, so I can at least demo it for you during the when I post videos for the practice round and stuff. I can go out there and look at the spots, and if I can hit it one time, then I can get a feel on like how it responded and where I'm bleeding off on, like whether or not that shot's replicatable, or if it's one of those shots where, hey, you do it, it's a trick shot. You do it when you come out here in one-on-one. I have several shots where I've been in one-on-one play with a Marlin. I play that hole totally different, and I've got shots. And actually, on one of those holes, I played the shot, the max overpower shot, with the Marlin in the tournament. And then there's several holes that have max overpower hook shots that I play. I don't play in one-on-one because I have to bring out a bigger ball. But if I'm playing against my teammates, I might, just because I like messing with them. And there are certain holes that when I'm playing against my teammates, I always do the max overpower hook because it's like the only time I can get away with it and they won't think I'm a D-bag. Hitting it perfect. And I just did a full adjustment, and I know that I'm way downhill. So the ball keeps ending up. The way I was shooting it before is the ball kept ending up to the left of the cup. And I was trying to make some adjustments. So there I just did a full wind adjustment from that spot. I'm trying to find the spot that I like out here. And I know in the past that spot, that little hollow right there that I was in, holla, for those of you that are from West Virginia, got down in the hollow right there. That hollow is less, it's not as deep as any of the rest of them. It is, as sad as it sounds, that's the flattest spot in the whole area down there. So the whole deal is the flatter the spot you can hit, the more consistent the results are going to be. So good game. Let's see if they'll replay, and you guys will get some more bonus action. Our bonus action will be tied to people replaying. See if we can get a community going here. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. Let's replay. Oh, you rat. Urgh. All right, that was it. Gokasho Bay, hole 7, par 3. That was one of the tournament holes right there, and you got to see it in both ways. You got to see an epic fail, and then you got to see an almost hole-in-one. almost Albie. All right, thanks for watching.